In today's video, we're going to go over how to get a more accurate and potentially, maybe, hopefully, probably, definitely faster fretting hand. And if you enjoy this video and find it helpful, then give it a like. And if you haven't done so already, subscribe to my channel and go check out my other videos on, I don't know what they're on, guitar technique and theory. But now, for some dexterity, we're going to have 3 levels or variations of some dexterity exercises. We're going to have the first one, which will be the easiest and will progressively get harder as we go on with these ones. So, first of all, the first one's going to look like this. So, all we're doing here is we're going to be on a 5th fret, which is where I do it. You can do it anywhere. If you find it too hard or too much of a stretch, do it on a higher fret. And if you find it too easy, then just do it down here. But for the demonstration, we're moving on to 5th fret. So, all we're going to do, 5th fret. And then for each finger, we're going to start with the index. We're going to go on the E string on that same fret, so 5, 5 on the E, and then 5 on the high E. While keeping the other fingers planted on the frets board. We're going to have these 3 fingers planted on the fretboard, and then we're going to move our index finger to the 5th fret on the E, 5th fret on the high E, 5th fret low, 5th fret high, and then for an amount of times you want to do or find suitable for you. Then we're going to do the middle finger, and it's going to go up like that. Middle finger, we're only going to move the middle finger, keep all the other ones planted on the fretboard. 6th fret, 6th fret, 6th fret, 6th fret. Same with the ring finger on the 7th fret. And then with the pinky, this is a great one if you're just starting out to learn dexterity or don't know how to do dexterity, or you're just new guitar. This is a great one because it's easy to grasp and easy to perform. The next one, variant 2. I'm going to stay at the 5th fret, and then we're going to take our our ring finger, plant it on the 7th fret of the G string, and then, damn it, and walk up. So for instance, on the ring finger, we're keeping planted, 7th fret G, and then with all the other fingers, we're going to be walking up 5, 6, 8, 5, 6, 8, 5, 6, 8, and so on. Missing the G string because that will sound like this, which is boring and it's not dexterity. Make sure you keep the ring finger planted the whole time and it doesn't move, especially when it gets up to when you go past the ring finger that way. It gets a little bit more hard. You can also do it in reverse, so you can walk down. Which is a little bit more of a challenge. I only usually do this one with my ring finger because that's a problem finger for dexterity. It's not really the one for me that likes to follow what I'm thinking or what I want to do. You could do it with all the other ones though. For instance, like that. I just prefer doing it with the ring finger or middle finger because they're the ones I have problems with. My index and pinky, not so much. And then the last level or variant is by far the hardest, and you've probably seen it on social media if you have it. So I'm going to be on the high E string with the chromaticism. We're actually going to do this before every set. And it's going to look like this. Damn it. Yeah. That's the whole exercise. I did mess it up, but this is the hardest one by far, and it is really good. This one's great because it uses tons of different combinations with your fingers, and which ones are planted, which ones are actually moving and doing an exercise. and it's great for variation and actually getting down dexterity. Dexterity is really good for chord changes, by the way, if you didn't know, because you need to keep, when you're doing like bar chords and stuff, you keep some fingers planted and others not, so you move them around. So practice this if you're having if you're having trouble with chord changes and chord progressions, practice dexterity. It's also just great for shredding and literally everything else. So just practice it. So, like you saw, do that before every set. And then start off with, we're going to just do the index and middle fingers side by sides. Doing the exercise, I'm just going to go. While keeping the ring and pinky planted on the third and fourth. The next one, we're going to start off again, and then we're going to use the middle and ring finger to do the exercise. Again, while keeping the index and pinky planted on 4 and 1 and 4, and then again, and then keeping the middle and ring planted, and letting the ring and pinky, I was confused with the names of the fingers, ring and pinky do an exercise. Then, as usual, then we're going to keep the middle 2 fingers planted, the middle and ring, and then have the index and pinky do the exercise. And then, again, and then what we're going to do is we're going to have our index and ring finger doing the walking, and then have the middle and pinky planted, and then we're going to swap it. So, and then have the index and ring planted, and have the middle and pinky doing the exercise. And then finish with the chromaticism. The next thing to get your fretting hand immaculate is practicing legato. So we might want some distortion for this. So for this exercise we're going to be using this scale. Which will be 7, 9, 11, 7, 9, 11, 8, 9, 11, 8, 9, 11, 9, 11, 12, 9, 11, 12. And then we're going to have 2 levels for this, involving the same scale. First way is the most simple way. We're just going to play the scale normally with legato. So every time we change string, we're going to pick the string once, and then legato, hammer on, hammer on, pick, hammer on, hammer on, pick, hammer on, hammer on, pick, hammer on, hammer on, etc. And then we're going down the scale, we're going to pick, pull off, pick, pull off, pick, pull off, pick, pull off, and missed it, and so on, so forth. Legato. This is really good for obviously practicing legato, because legato is a great technique because of the decoration, some cool solos, some dynamic changes, some vibe changes as well in songs. So you can use it very, very artistically, and it's just a really fun technique to use and pop in between solos. Legato is also great for strength and endurance of your fretting hand if you practice it enough, and if you practice it a lot you'll feel a burn in your left hand, which is good. You're getting stronger and you'll be able to endure more. I mean, you can play for longer, which is great because playing guitar is fun. Next variation is going to be performing the scale differently. So it's the same scale, same idea of the picking and hammer on, pull off. But after we get to the 3rd string change, so 1, 2, 3, we're going to go back a string. Like that. This just adds a little bit more of a direction change and some variation, with also a longer exercise, so more endurance. It's also a little bit harder with the pull-offs. That's a little bit bad. More accuracy as well, because you have to be quite accurate with these string changes in particular, because you're changing position and what fingers you're using. So for instance, index, ring, pinky, index, ring, pinky, index, middle pinky, index, ring, pinky, and so on and so forth. So you're going to be more accurate with this one as well. It's just a great one, a good step up from the normal just plain scale, and it's really fun. It's just good. Practice it, do it a lot, and you will have a more accurate fretting hand, which is good for playing and shredding really, really fast. The next thing is really, really simple, and it's just making sure we don't have what's called flying fingers, which is where we have these massive distance to travel, or these massive movements with our fretting hand, which isn't ideal for two reasons. One, you're traveling a further distance, which means you can't play as fast, because you know when you're traveling this distance compared to this distance, you're going to play faster with this because there's less distance to travel, obviously. Second reason being you have more margin for error, or room for error, when you're traveling this distance. Because when I'm playing very close, there's only really one place my fingers can go, whereas when I'm doing this, there's much more room for me to shake or like just move back or forward onto a different fret. So staying close, more controlled, more fast, you're going to play cleaner, which is great. All I want to do for this is really concentrate on playing close to the fretboard, not so close to your muting strings. That sounds gross, but having these really controlled movements, and if needs be, slow down the piece or exercise you're doing to really concentrate on making these small movements, because it is really good for speed and accuracy. The last thing is one of the most important things I got told, and that is just chill out, be relaxed, don't tense up, because when you're tense you make mistakes. When you're relaxed, you're smooth, you play clean. This seems pretty obvious, but people do tense up, because all you need to do to fret a note is this. You don't need that much force. That's just me going. So why don't you do that for every note? But seriously, if you stay relaxed, you're going to play better, you're going to play smoother and cleaner. If you tense up, you're going to make mistakes, use too much force. It can work sometimes, rarely, depending on the music style, obviously, but usually staying relaxed and chill, you're going to play faster, better, cleaner. So just drop your shoulders, be comfortable, and play. With a relaxed hand, relaxed arms, just chill out, relax. That is the end of the video. Hope you enjoyed, found it useful. Subscribe if you're not already, like the video, go check out my other videos on guitar technique and theory, and I'll see you in the next one.